Hey guys and gals, A here. Welcome to another episode of EDC. So today we are going to talk about exactly that. What is EDC? If you want to know my thoughts on that and kind of how I run with it, come on back because here we go. All right, guys and gals. So maybe you've heard the term EDC and you've wondered what that is exactly, or why people talk about it, or why people make videos on it so frequently, or whatever it is. Maybe you've been in the EDC world for a while and you feel like you're a part of it, but you don't fully understand exactly what it is, or even maybe how to explain it to someone else. So today we're just going to kind of break down my opinion on what EDC is and kind of how I set that up in my life. So to simply get started is to state what it is. EDC. What does that stand for? That is your everyday carry. Everyday carry. EDC. And what that means is those are the items that you have on you every day. Every day. So for example, one thing that people always have on them every day, unless it's, random weird circumstances or there are reasons that you don't, your cell phone. You have your cell phone on you every day. If it's one of those items where if you get in your car and you leave and you realize you don't have it, you're tempted to turn around and go back home and get it, or you do every time you go back home and get it. That is an everyday carry item that you want on you every day, nearly all the time. So that's an extreme though. That's kind of like the way our world is set up and the way, society is and the way we live. Like we are very dependent on and reliant upon our cell phones. They do so much for us. They're communications, they're information sources, they are maps, they're GPSs, they're tracking devices. Like they perform so many tasks in our life that we rely upon them every day, all the time, nearly all the time. So that is an everyday carry item. What else falls in this category? Your wallet. Or minimum, your cards that you use, your cash if you use it, those are everyday carry items. Those are items where if you leave your house, you are going to need them with you because at minimum, you're going to need your license with you. And if you purchase something, you're going to need a way to do that, whether that's with your card or your cash. So your wallet would be an everyday carry item. If you leave the home, it's got to be with you. Another item would be for a female, if you carry a bag, and even guys, but guys more tend to, and I don't want to generalize this being a woman, like I get that, but for men, it's kind of like you have your wallet. For women, you have your pocketbook or your purse, and that's generalities that I don't like, but I'm going to use because it's true. Like guys will have a wallet, like I know slim wallets are the thing now, but old school style or generally speaking, guys have the wallet that's this thick in their back pocket and they have back issues from how they sit, and women carry their bag. And so, that would be an everyday carry item. If you do keep that wallet on you or your bag on you all the time, that is an everyday carry item. And I will get into everyday carry bags because I actually wear my wallet on a lanyard. So when I walk out the door, I grab a lanyard by the door on the little key rack and I throw it over my head, and on it is my vehicle key and my wallet. And those are right here in this area, hanging off of a lanyard on me. So I grab, throw it on and go, and I have that. I also carry a bag, and we'll get into that later and what that means. But for me, my wallet and my keys are, one in one. They're on the keychain together. So that is my everyday carry setup for having what I need to drive a vehicle, both with a license and the actual keys. Let's see, what else do we have? Watches. Got one right here. Watches for a lot of people are an EDC item. I always have well, I won't say always, I kind of rotate watches, but I stick with them for long periods of time, like year, 2, 3 at a time. I'll stay with kind of the same general style. So I have a digital watch. This is the Casio Pro Trek. So I have a watch on my wrist. This one offers some cool features, you know, a compass, a barometer, altimeter, a thermometer. So some cool features on it to know what's going on, you know, like elevation or temperature or whatever around me, pressure. So I have that, but I actually also, I Wonder Woman band it. These are my awesome Wonder Woman bands. I have a smartwatch on this watch, on this wrist. This is a Fitbit Sense 2. So with this watch, I more have like the smart computer setup. So I can know my heart rate. I can know my activity levels for the day, my step levels, my sleep tracking. Like I can keep finger per se on the pulse of what my body is doing. Like I can know, you know, how I'm sleeping, how I'm functioning, all that stuff. So for me, these are both everyday carry items. You probably don't have two. If you do, rock on, it works. But you probably have a watch, and a lot of people, that is their cell phone. So again, a multi-use item with the cell phone. But those are the like basic EDC items, and everyone is a part of EDC, whether you call it that or not, because you do have things you keep on you every day, and those are just like the basic ones that everybody has. In this world, in the EDC world, there's a whole plethora of stuff that comes with it. And that's the fun that we're going to get into right now. So the number one item that people talk about when they talk about EDC, talk about EDC, your first thought is not cell phone or wallet or pocketbook or purse or bag. Well, sometimes it's a bag, and we'll get into that. But and it's probably not watches. The first thing you think of the first thing that comes to mind for most people when EDC is brought up is pocket knife. We love knives. And some people love them more than others. I absolutely love knives. If I have 4 blades on me, I'm just fine with that. And if I have 6, I'm just fine with that. If I have 1 or 2, there's a reason. And so those can come in all sizes. For instance, I've got the Wee Banter sitting here, a great little EDC pocket knife. Looks great, feels great in the hand. It's not a small blade per se. There are definitely small blades out there, but this one is a smaller blade. It's unassuming. If you have this clipped into your pocket and you open it up, you know, in public, to probably not that aggressively, but if you were to open this up in public and you were to, you know, like open up a package or whatever you need to do in public, that's why you have your knife out in public. No one's going to be scared of this. But behind me on this black pegboard wall, I have an assortment of knives that range from, you know, small little bitty knives to folding pocket knives that should not fit in a pocket. So you don't have to carry a pocket knife like this. You certainly can. They are great and functional and useful. But this small little Swiss Army knife also qualifies as a pocket knife. It is a multi-tool, so it does dual purposes, but right here you have a little blade. So you could carry around this small little Swiss Army knife. This is the classic variety, and you've got a blade right there, and no one's going to be afraid of this. It might not accomplish all the tasks you need to, but no one is going to be afraid of that. And then in addition to that blade, you get some other items. You've got a nail file right here. On the back side of this, you have some scissors, small but capable. And then inside of the handle of this, you get a pair of tweezers as well as a toothpick. So this little small thing right here that can easily disappear into a pocket. It can go onto your keychain because it has that little key ring right there. But a lot of capabilities with this, and this qualifies just as much as this as a pocket knife. So a ton of variety of pocket knives, but in the EDC world, you're provided laws and situations allow, EDC is going to include a knife in most cases. Secondary to knife, probably the next thing people jump to, and this kind of varies, like knife is kind of the first, and after that it kind of ventures off into who you're talking to. I'm going to go flashlight. Flashlight is a great thing. When you have a flashlight on you, you realize just how useful it is. And I know how this game is, because when you start out, you're like, why would I carry a flashlight on me? Like, that's just a waste of time. And then after hearing about it and talking about it, you kind of start out with the small flashlight, something easy, maybe a keychain flashlight. And then once you actually start using it, you're like, okay, functional, practical, yes. And then it becomes a part of your EDC. So a great way to start out is indeed a keychain light. And this is the Nitecore tip, very small, very lightweight. It is plastic, and it's a super easy user interface. You got low, you got medium, you got high, you got off. Or I guess actually it's low, high, off. I waited too long to turn it, but so low, high, off. That's the functionality of this, and you would be surprised how much you use this. Lighten up your front door to go into your house in the evening or in the early morning when it's dark. Looking for something under a piece of furniture. Like, there's so many ways these come in handy, and you don't have to go here. So one of my personal favorites is the Olight S1R baton. Itty bitty pocket lights. Itty bitty, and I think they also have this actually might be the S3 baton. So many names for these. I will have a link to this below, but this one is actually in a fun little Cerakote painted design. But small flashlight, big old pocket clip, reverse pocket clip. So you can slide it into your pocket like that, or you can pull this out and slide it in that direction. But this can also slide onto the bill of a hat, so you would have a headlamp. Little flashlight, big capabilities. This thing gets very, very bright. Low, medium, high. It gets very bright, and it's super easy to have. And you just put it on its little dock, charge it up, and you're ready to rock and roll. And you can also get two very large flashlights. This is the Black Scout Survival Volume 4, version 4. This comes from the Through Night company. This is a big light, and this thing packs a punch. I mean, you can see on me right there, I'm in a well-lit room, and that thing is lighting up. So flashlights come in all shapes and sizes. Pick your flavor, pick what works for you. Flashlights are great. They come in handy, and you will know how handy they are when you use them. The next thing I'm going to go to is pens. Pens are a great item to actually carry on you. When you have it on you, you're able to, sign your name for whatever you need to. You're able to take notes. You're able to write stuff down. They literally come in so handy. It's kind of like a flashlight. If you don't carry one, you don't know how handy they are until you do. This, my personal go-to and favorite, is super cheap, super easy. This is the Uniball. It is the blue ink color, but it's just a little pen. I don't use gel pens. I use rollerball pens, just my personal preference. I like the Uniballs, and I like the Pilot V5s. And when I actually buy a pen that will take refills, like when I go Not Cheap Pen and Nice Pen, I put the Pilot V5s into it. So little Uniball pen, great option. Some cool options that people go to, Fisher Space Pen / Write in the Rain. These are great little clicky style pens. They look cool, very lightweight, pocket clip, sit in your pocket. And then they also make the tactical pens. So on the end here, that is a glass breaker. You have a stylus tip, and you actually unscrew the pen, and there's the pen portion. So there are all kinds of pens out there, but just have one on you. They really, really do come in handy. Great items to use, and you will probably use them way more than you think. Multi-tools. Multi-tools are a great option, and I did already show you one. Swiss Army Classic is a great multi-tool. It is small, but it is great, and it does a lot of things. Still sticking into that like Swiss Army vein. Right here I have the Compact, the Tinker, the Super Tinker, the Fieldmaster, so many different options of Swiss Army knives. But you're going to get a general layout. You're going to have a knife on them. This is obviously a larger knife than this, because this is a larger knife as a whole. It can have a bigger blade. Some of these will have two blades. You'll have your larger blade and your smaller blade. This one has a little can opener, bottle opener combination little dude here. And then we also have one of my favorite things on a multi-tool, a pair of scissors. And those are a good size pair of scissors. But these come with a lot of different tools, a lot of different functions. They're going to come with the, sitting right there is the tweezers, sitting right here is a toothpick, and also inside of the handle is an actual writing pen. So these are going to have a variety of tools. You can look them up and pick out ones that work best for you. This one has a tool I never use, and that is a corkscrew. Now, threaded into the corkscrew here, I have a little flat-headed screwdriver, but I never use a corkscrew. So there are other Swiss Army knives that don't have the corkscrew. You might find one that works really well for you and has all the tools you need. But a Swiss Army knife is a great way to go with a multi-tool. But say you want pliers. Pliers are a really cool part of a multi-tool. The SOG Power Pint bust out some easy to use pliers, a very easy, open, user-friendly multi-tool, and it has an assortment of tools laid into the handle here. You're going to have different bit drivers, you're going to have a file, you're going to have a knife blade, all kinds of useful tools in here, and it comes into a package that is actually a little different sized, shorter and wider than the Swiss Army knife that I just showed you. Or you can go full-size multi-tool and actually have a Kydex sheath. For mine, this is the Leatherman Surge, and this is a beast of a tool. Huge pliers right there. When you use the blades, I mean, you've got a full-size knife right there, for sure. So lots of capabilities in a multi-tool, and again, it's kind of like the pen and the flashlight. Once you start carrying this stuff that seems odd to carry, but once you start carrying it, you see how useful it really is. And that's kind of how we get into the EDC world, is you grab a pocket knife or a flashlight or a pen or a multi-tool or whatever it is that gets you into the world, and you see how much more into the EDC world. And you see how useful it really is, and then so slowly you start trying out other things to figure out, hey, does this work for me? Hey, does that work for me? Some random items that you might find useful. Pry bars. Really cheap pry bar off of eBay, more expensive pry bar. They range in all kinds of prices from like $3 to you can spend hundreds of dollars on pry bars. But it allows you the ability to pry something or to wedge something or whatever you need to do without using your blade. Because using a knife as a pry tool, you know, you're using the tip of your knife and you're trying to pry something, knife tips will break. You will damage your knife doing that. But having a dedicated tool for that purpose, it's an option. Earbuds. Earbuds are tools that we all use. Not all use, but we can use. A lot of us use them to be hands-free, to be able to listen to your podcast or your videos or whatever it is, to take phone calls when you're out and about. Earbuds are great options. These are my AirPods. This is some Skull Candy Dimes. They are great, they are awesome, and they're cheap. So if these get lost or stolen or broken, or I lose an earbud, which I have been known to do, I'm not near as upset if I lose an earbud there as I am if I lose one of those. My personal favorite, and actually sitting in my pocket right now, is I really like the Pixel Buds. I don't know why. These are the A series. I just like the Pixel Buds. They work for me. They fit my ears fairly well. But so I have one on me all the time, and it's in my pocket. Handkerchiefs. Handkerchiefs are an item that, grandfathers and fathers carried forever. They actually have a lot of useful purposes. The old men knew what they were doing. And, they are super practical, come in handy. This one actually has a nice microfiber inside. So you can clean your cell phone, which I'm filming on, your sunglasses, your glasses, your watch faces, your electronics, whatever. This is a little bit larger one. This is put out by True Budget EDC and Prepping, my buddy Rich over there. And this is, a nice cotton outside with a more ShamWow style inside, like the little chamois cloth. And that works really well to clean electronic devices. I have sitting here the whole time, you've probably been wondering what that is. Water bottle. Stay hydrated. Keep a water bottle with you. That can definitely be an EDC item. And that takes care of all the items I set out on the table. But other things that might come into play as an EDC item for you is going to vary. What do you need on you at all times. If you are a diabetic, there are probably tools that you need on you as a diabetic. Those are a part of your EDC. I talked about a bag earlier. A lot of times in the EDC world, we will build a bag. Like we will grab a bag and we will put, like a spare knife in there. Or maybe you don't want the multi-tool on you, so it goes in your bag. And maybe you have this flashlight on you and this flashlight in your bag. Maybe you don't carry the pry tool on you, maybe that's in your bag. Because all of this gear loaded up into your pockets is going to weigh you down. So we end up going to other ways to carry these with us. And bags are a great option. You grab a small shoulder bag or a small backpack, load it up with all your gear that you don't want in your pockets, and you are ready to rock and roll. One of my personal favorites is the leather belt pouch. So in here, I have a full-size flashlight, I have a pen, and I have a pocket knife. And it literally, my belt just threads on it, threads through it, and I'm ready to rock and roll. And right there sitting on my hip, because I carry it right about 4 or 5 o'clock, I've got a flashlight, a pen, and a knife. So having those items here means I no longer have those items in my pocket, and it lightens me up. So that's just kind of my take on what EDC is. It is those items that you keep with you all the time, and you don't keep them on you just to have them or to look cool or to show people. You keep them on you because you use them and because they are practical for your life, and they make things you do during the day a little bit easier because your gear is with you. So yeah, sound off below. Let me know what you think on that. What's your take on EDC, and what are some of those items that you keep with you? Guys, I will never ask you to like or subscribe. You do you. But I would appreciate it if you did both. Definitely comment below. Let's get a conversation going, and I will be back with another video soon. Remember, EDC, EDC.